How you doing?
What up? What up?
What's up?
What's going on, friends? How y'all doing?
Hi.
Can y'all hear me well?
Yep.
We can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Should be fun.
Should be fun. All right. So, first question of the night. In hookup culture, can sex hold any special meaning between two people, or is it just performance-based?
What do you mean by performance-based?
Meaning, as the guy, you gotta, if you're not performing that well, then sex is not really good.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
You're saying for a man or for a woman?
For pretty much for a man. If a man's not good, sex not good, essentially, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would figure, at least.
I feel like I need to be between the ladies.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to be between Kristen and Aaron. I feel more comfortable now. I don't know why.
There we go.
So much more comfortable. Now we can get started. Let's
put you where you want to be. All right. Go for it. Go for it, Rondell. I'll be right back.
Rondell, what's going on, fam?
What's going on? All right, so as far as sex holding a special meaning, I mean, for me personally, it came down to chemistry. Like, if I rocks with you, or if I fucks with you, I think you're a cool individual. We have chemistry, The chemistry is there. I feel like that is the number one thing for me. Granted, there's been times where, I've encountered different women, different experiences were better than others with other women, you know what I mean? But I feel like it depends on who you're engaging with when you ask, does it hold a special place? Like, I feel like you have the woman that you already have an idea of in your head and where you're going to go along that route. You feel me? Like, the ones that you just want to take it to a certain place with versus build and grow. I think it all depends on the chemistry between you and your partner or whoever you're engaged with. So that's my take.
Kristen? I think you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
I mean, I unfortunately really don't have too much like an opinion on this. I mean, I think if someone's just hooking up, then I guess it's performance based. I'm not a person who really just hooks up with someone, so I don't really have I'm sorry. I don't really have too much.
Kristen. Are you telling me you've never hooked up with anybody before?
Like a one night stand? Never. Not in my life.
No, I don't have to necessarily be a one night stand. Hooking up can be hooking up. It just doesn't have to be relationship based. So every single time that you've ever had a sexual encounter, it's always been in a committed relationship. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Okay, so what are we talking about then?
So I guess I don't know. When I think hook up, it's just like I've had at least a connection with someone who I was like hooking up with.
Yeah, but all women in most situations have to have some level of a connection, even if it's just physical, that turns into something else, right? But at the same time, hooking up is hooking up, right?
I guess. Yeah.
You want me to let you off the hook? Want me to let you rock?
No, I guess I don't know.
Because you provide valuable insight, but the only way we can get to the bottom of it and really, really be able to solve for or get the insight that we need as men is to have you be absolutely forthcoming and transparent with how you really feel. Otherwise, I mean, you'd make for probably a good politician.
Oof.
Oh no.
I mean, that is the point of the show. We want people to hear the actual real side, the real conversations that a lot of people are too scared or too uncomfortable to have. Let's actually talk about it.
We should let Kristen think about it for a minute.
Yeah. We're gonna go to John.
All right. I am not hookup guy. Pretty much, with the exception of one encounter, every sexual encounter that I've had has either been in the confines of or led to a relationship. Yeah, in that case, if it's a hookup thing, it kind of has to be performance based because you're not there for the feelings. You know what I mean? I mean, hopefully you at least like each other, but you know.
So are you saying that you've had situations where a sexual encounter actually led to a relationship?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yep. I mean, it was hanging out, then sexual encounter, then relationship, but you know.
Aaron?
I guess it really all depends. So if it's like a one night stand, I would think it would be more performance based. But if you're hooking up just as friends, kind of casual, I think there could be some kind of special thing. But as far as it turning into a relationship, I think it's very, very rare.
Anton?
I think I wouldn't even say performance based because I mean performance is performance. Like I'm gonna perform no matter what, regardless of the circumstances, because I'm just great. Honestly, I'm absolutely phenomenal in the sex. So that's part one. But part two, I don't know if anything. I think that for women in most situations, it holds a little bit more of a special meaning because sex for women is a lot different than it is for men. I know that a lot of guys can have sex with a girl and never even remember her name, never even know who she is. You know, it was just a moment. And again, like I said, I think that post-nut clarity is absolutely real. I mean, the very instance that it happened is absolutely real. You get clarification. It's almost like taking a limitless pill. Like you can solve for mathematical equations that you've never heard of before and all kind of stuff, right? But for women to a larger extent, I think that sex is a lot more meaningful, even if it is just a one night stand. I think women are more inclined to get connected because I mean, even if you look at a woman's body, right? A woman's body is in a space to where you have to enter into it, right? Like it's almost like a soul tie to a larger extent to where they'd have to make a conscious effort to not get connected to a guy. And even when they do hook up, even when it's purely sexual, even if it's a one night stand, even if it's just based off of, you know, the moment, they have to feel something for you. They can't just do it and that just be the end of the conversation. And of course there are anomalies, but for the most part, a woman in most instances has to have some level of connection with you, which ultimately extends, you know, depending on that sexual experience beyond whatever it is that y'all did at that specific moment. So I think for guys, it's a different dynamic than it is for most women. However, I think that women in a larger instance is more inclined to get more, you know, emotionally connected for an extended period of time based off of a sexual performance. Absolutely.
Okay. That was pretty good. Next question. Next topic.
Wait a minute. We just gonna skip past Kristen? I didn't forget about you. Listen, you said you wanted to do this. You wanted to have me on the show. You wanted to have this conversation. I'm not gonna just let you slide like that. Come on, baby girl.
We're so close, though. God damn it. I mean, when it comes to like men and women, I've seen plenty of women who can have, you know, sex without feelings, and seen men who like sex is a connection, like they like that they need
Like
to
John?
have that connection.
Like John.
What up?
But I mean, I guess like I for me, like I guess for me, I need a special meaning. Like there needs to be a connection. Like I don't know. Like performance is something that that can be worked on in and with, you know, communication and time and stuff like that. So
But is it fair to say that when you think of performance, and this is for both Kristen and Aaron, that the performance is largely connected in a lot of ways to your emotional connection to that person? So, for example, like let's just say, we want to get into it, or y'all want to get into it? Y'all want to keep it surface level, or y'all really want to do a deep dive?
I'm just gonna cut you off right there and be like, there was someone who I shouldn't have been hooking up with, but and I did not, and I did continued for a little bit because performance wise, it was a thing.
But I mean, think about it though. You being emotionally connected to somebody makes it that much more exciting, right? That's the thing that foreplay, you know, the whole reason behind the foreplay. And foreplay is more than just, oh, you know, kissing or, you know, kissing on your neck. Like, we're not in high school. When I say foreplay, I'm talking about for real. Like, it's an all day thing. It's the fact that I connected with you on an earlier phone call, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see you later. It already gets your antennas up. And then it's the small things that go into it prior to or leading up to the actual experience itself. So, and I'm not going to go into details. If you know, you know. But the point is that emotional connection is what heightens the experience, which ultimately leads to a deeper connection to the person long term. But go ahead, Clement. I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm not ready to teach any classes just yet. We're gonna get into it.
It's the start of the show. Start of the show. We'll warm up. All right. So next topic. We have been told men and women are equal, but does intercourse mean the same thing to a man than it does to a woman? Aaron?
What's wrong, Aaron?
Question one more time.
Okay. We've been told men and women are equal, but does intercourse mean the same thing to a man than it does to a woman? Does sex mean the same thing to a man than it does to a woman?
Well, obviously I can't speak for a man, but I think it can. Yeah. I think we can both be on the same page about it, but as Anton said, women tend to be more emotional and have that, you know, emotional connection first. I feel like for men, it takes time for them to be emotionally connected. But I think it could mean the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying women will typically fall a little bit quicker than men would?
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay. Mm-hmm. Rondell?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say that I think women tend to take it more serious. I feel like they hold it at a higher value than men do. And I feel like that also falls into the whole double standard where it's like if women have multiple partners, if men have multiple partners, they're like for sure. So I feel like that analogy doesn't just come from anywhere. I feel like everyone has a perspective where a woman should, you know, hold that more sacred than a man. And I mean, just based off of experience and just people that I know.
So now if a woman actually gets attached a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, you don't think she should probably pick wiser?
You're saying, well, I mean, I feel like that has a lot to do with just, it could be potential trauma, just what's happened in their lives. Because like I know some women who've been assaulted at like young ages, and they just have this issue where they sleep with multiple partners. And also, you know, like women with daddy issues, different things like that, they tend to have different partners. I feel like sometimes they're longing for their relationship with a man. So they tend to think that, I mean, even in high school, like I've known girls to say like, oh, I had sex with so-and-so because I thought they would go out with me after. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think I do agree with you. I do think they should choose wiser if they do attach easily. But I mean, hence, like you said, the question is, do men hold it up to the same value as women do? If they did, don't you think they'd be in a relationship? I mean, that's my
Anton, I want to start. I want to bring you in early.
All right, we got to mute everybody else's mics when I get ready to come in, because it's greatness. These are teachable moments. Literally, I'm gonna give you $1 million game. So, restate the question for me.
Okay.
Wind me up.
All right. Women have been told men.
They're not equal. But let's skip that part.
All right.
But let's go.
All right. Does intercourse mean the same thing to a man than it does to a woman?
No, absolutely not. Can't. And I mean, this kind of piggybacks off of my last point that I was making, in that it can't mean the same thing because our bodies are different. And I even hate the idea that people try to make men and women equal in a lot of ways, because it's not even about being equal. It's not even about who's better than who or who's greater than what, because we all have things that we should be celebrating based off of them being able to do things more effectively. I often equate, and if you study history, even if you study chess, because I love games, right? And I think that chess is more or less a reflection of history in itself. If you look at the board, it tells a story, right? Even though the king is the one that is the objective as far as trapping and ending the game, the queen is the most powerful person on the board. And if you look at history, if you really, really study history, you understand that the majority of the decisions, the majority of the wars that were fought, all of it was based off of women. So when you take that into consideration, I think that even for men in general today, a lot of it is ego. When you see a guy cheat, or when you see a guy has to have more than one partner, realistically, it is just ego. It's not that he's getting anything much better from this person than he is from the other person. He's really just fulfilling something within himself that says that I'm competitive. I have to be greater. I have to continue to elevate. I have to conquer. I have to own. I have to have greater than what I have today. When you look at how men interact versus women in the workplace or competitively, when you look at sports, when you look at business, most of the time women can settle once they hit a threshold. Men don't have a limit. They don't have a number that they can hit and they say, you know what, I'm rich enough, I'm good on that. They keep going because it's a power thing, it's an ego thing. And so when you equate that back to every other aspect of our lives, especially when it comes to sexual relationships and everything else, what you find is that men operate out of purpose and ego, and women are more inclined to operate based off of feeling and emotion, and less inclined to operate off of the whole competitive nature or ego or anything as it pertains to acquiring and moving away, in which is not conducive for her, but also makes her feel better in the inside. You see what I'm saying? So when you, like, I'll give you another example. When you hear a woman talk, right, she don't brag on how many guys she slept with. That's a guy thing. It's ego. It's a thing that makes us feel good about ourselves or boosts what we have within us in order to satisfy our thirst for more power, or to feel greater about what our accomplishments are on this earth. Men talk about legacy. Men talk about leaving a legacy. That's not a conversation that's really had amongst women, or celebrated or highlighted amongst women. So when you take that into consideration, you have to say that sex is more meaningful for women, because the whole idea of sex is the thing that men do, but they don't necessarily champion it or celebrate the act itself. It's the fact that they have the option to have as much as they want versus actually participating in the act itself, if that makes any sense. It's a teachable moment.
Questions for that?
You don't think women are competitive at all? Like, women
do
are
think they're
so
competitive.
competitive with each other in general. Like, well, you said that women are not competitive, that men are competitive.
Women are not competitive in the way that men are competitive. So usually when women are competitive, it's for a purpose. Men are competitive just by nature. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I'm on a basketball court. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if how many women or whatever. I don't care if it's on this podcast. I want to win by any means necessary, because that's just my nature. Now, I think that women are competitive and they're territorial when it comes to certain things that affect them or are meaningful to them. But I don't think by nature or just inherently they are just competitive for no reason. I think that that's more or less a men thing.
I mean, I would say it depends on the man too. You know what I mean? Some men are hyper competitive.
Oh yes,
it
does depend on the man.
It does.
That
depend
is
on
true.
You know, I
But
mean,
then that's a whole nother conversation and separating the whole alpha and beta thing. Some men
I
know
don't
they
know
can't
if it's-
compete.
I don't know if it's
You
an
know if you can
alpha.
compete or not. You're not even gonna
I don't
walk
know
into
if
the
it's an
ring or arena if you
alpha
can't
versus
compete.
beta thing so much as just what's the target. You know what I mean?
No, I'm a winner no matter what it is. I'm sure there are circumstances where you go into it, where you specifically go into it, and you be like, I don't really care. Like it don't mean as much to me,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It depends on what it is.
But that's not me, and that's not any of the guys that I surround myself with. We're walking in like, yo, we got to win, and if we don't win, we going back and we gonna rethink this. We gonna shoot 1,000 jumpers every single day, and when you see me again, it's gonna be a problem.
So you can't just enjoy a competition for fun. You know what I mean? Just the experience
Fun?
of it,
What is
or a
that?
conversation, or whatever.
It's much more fun when you win. Have you ever had fun losing?
Yeah,
Exactly, and that's the
'Cause you
difference
learn
between
something.
alphas and betas.
because you learn something, man.
No.
Yeah, every loss is an opportunity to get better and to learn something and improve yourself.
But see, now you're proving my point because now you're subjecting yourself to my narrative. You're looking to improve as a result of the loss. You're not just going in and having fun and leaving it on the table. Now you're starting to move over into a space and saying, no, but I need to learn. And that's where the fun comes from because I need to improve. And the next time that I'm going to show up, I'm going to be better than I was the last time that I showed up, right?
No, but you can enjoy the activity itself. And then when you lose, you'd be like, oh, okay, I see why I lost. No big deal. That was fun.
No, I don't know any guys that think like that, honestly. I don't personally allow any of those type of guys around me.
Dude, life's not that serious.
It is that serious, and that's why I'm rich. That's exactly why it's that serious.
I mean, that's awesome,
why I'm
man.
a winner.
Listen, man, you've got your thing figured out, and that's awesome, dude.
I know.
You're
Do you have yours
person?
figured out? That's what I'm wondering.
Kinda.
But see, that's the whole thing because
I have my goals.
know.
I know what I need. I'm working towards them, but things take
that's
time.
the difference between
in life.
No, that's the difference between winners and losers is that you're still trying to figure it out and you're saying, but it's okay. Meanwhile, I've hit milestones over and over in every single aspect of my life. And I understand that it's bigger than just me feeling a certain type of way, but it's the results that matter. See, here's the difference. You probably think happiness is meaningful, right? You chase happiness?
I think that life is generally crap and full of suffering, and those minor moments of happiness that you get to experience are the things to be treasured and look forward to and enjoyed.
So is that a yes or no? Do you chase happiness or not?
I enjoy happiness. I strive for situations where I can be happy, but I'm not.
So to a larger extent, yes.
A cokehead on a happy
of course,
high,
it's not.
It's
it's not an extreme situation in which it's like happiness. But you chase happiness, though, right?
Well, yeah. Everybody wants to feel content and comfortable and be happy.
Well, see, I'm different. I chase growth, and I understand that the best parts in life is on the other side of being uncomfortable. So I'm always chasing the thing that does not necessarily align with happiness because happiness is a state of mind. You can be happy and in a negative situation thinking that you're doing well, but you're not. So the whole point is I don't lead with my emotions. I don't lead with how I feel. I don't lead with the whole idea of, well, it's okay, or I just had fun. I lead with the idea of what is the result and is growth in this. And then if we have fun in the meantime, then that's cool. But fun don't mean nothing to me because the best parts in life is being on the other side of being uncomfortable, and it's in winning. I've never seen anybody that in a competitive sport. I've never seen anybody on a basketball court, the NBA, NFL, soccer, no matter what. I've never seen anybody lose a championship and go, oh man, but that was so fun. No, they hurt in the inside because they are there to win. They're not there to have fun. Fun is for weak people. Fun is for average people. Fun is for average guys. That's not for real men. They also get
multi-million-dollar bonuses for winning that competition. So they're not really, oh, I lost. It's, oh, I didn't get that bonus.
Then why do men turn down higher contracts in order to go to more competitive teams in order to get a ring?
I don't know, man.
because
I
it's
am not
not
a
just
sports
about the
guy. I
money.
don't know that
It's
that
about
happens or not.
winning. It's about being competitive. And most people that aren't into sports can't even understand the dynamic behind guys that operate based off of a win-loss black and white narrative. They don't understand it. They think that things are more, there's more context. And what about how you feel? What about how the two people interact with each other? What about how the circumstances behind how they were raped? Yo, all that excuse junk, all of that extra, all of the context, that's cool. People don't want to hear that until after you win. That's why winners are the only ones that write history. They're the ones that get to tell their story. It's not the people that feel and went and got slaughtered out on the field. It's the people. The only reason you want to know the people's journey is after they've already achieved something, which is why we look up to certain people in society, and then we want to know how they did it. Nobody goes to the bum on the street and say, hey, how did you mess up? Yo, what should I be doing differently?
You've never done that? You've never walked up to a homeless dude and been like, hey, man, how'd you get here?
No, what I've done is I've made the money and then I've taken my resources, put over $1 million back in my communities, and then help people by understanding what their circumstances is in order to elevate them and bring them up to my level. I don't care about just learning for the sake of learning. I care about the results that come along with it. It's always results based.
So the pursuit of knowledge is meaningless to you.
Knowledge by itself is meaningless.
We just clearly have a very different life view, you know?
John, can I ask you, have you
alone is meaningless.
Have you played any kind of competitive sports?
I did karate for a while. I was in a bunch of tournaments.
Like when you were younger, or?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were competing, were you trying to get gold? Were you trying to be the top?
No, I was going to see how other people fought and learn and hopefully kick their asses. But if I lost, hey, I know why I messed up. And now I can go talk to that guy and make a friend, and we can learn from each other.
Then what's the point in competing?
Talk to him.
For the experience of it. Life is just experiences. Win or lose.
No, it's not. It's not
just
experiences. That's not what life is about.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's not what life is about.
The fun part about anything is the initial moment that hooks you. That initial moment, that's the fun part. After that, now it's okay. I got to get better, and I got to start stepping it up. I got to climb that title, like pole. Like, you're trying to be the best at what you do.
So, John, let me ask you a question. Are you just surviving? Like, do you go to work just to do the things that you need to do in order to eat every day, in order to have a roof over your head?
I mean,
or do you go to work to actually level up and actually be able to do the things that you've never done before, or move into spaces that you've never done, make more money, provide a better lifestyle? Hopefully your kids will be able to go to the best schools. Hopefully a future wife will be able to stay in a place that's not, that's safe. What's your mindset towards life in general, honestly?
I mean, I go to work every day. I actually genuinely enjoy my job. I'm a plumber. Clement and I work for the same company.
No. But I'm not saying what do you do. I'm saying why do you do it is the question.
I'm good at problem solving and fixing things.
So you're saying that the money has no bearing on why you do what you do?
The money, of course, has bearing on what I do. But as long as I have enough money to provide for myself and the people that I care about, I don't really care.
And I'm telling you, that is a horrible way to live life, bro. Like, you will always get the seconds of everything from the people that actually are looking to compete in life. You will get the seconds when it comes to women. You will get the seconds when it comes to opportunities. You will always be getting the scraps from somebody else's table and have that narrative. Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure type of mentality. Like, you will never have the best in life. And it's better on this side. Trust me, I've been on both sides. It's way better on this side.
Well, what do you consider the best in life?
Well, the best is having options. The best is the fact that I get to choose first, and then you get to take what I don't want. Do you? I mean, this is a zero-sum game. I already understand exactly the type of person that you are, so you'll never be able to really truly grasp why people like me think the way that we think, because you've never ever competed and won in the spaces that we've won it. Like you probably can't
understand your drive too.
You don't
want to be the best.
You really
I
don't.
get that.
You don't. You can't. It's impossible for you to because you've never felt the bliss that comes along with greatness.
I have. It wasn't
So
that
explain it to me.
fulfilling, man.
Tell me a moment where you've experienced this greatness where it makes sense, where you can understand it from my perspective.
I've won karate tournaments for forms and for fighting when I was like 10, and I felt great. And then I was
let me reframe the question. As a grown man,
no, I'm not competitive. I don't care to compete.
So how can you truly understand where I'm coming from and why I think the way I think if you've never truly experienced it on my level?
No, I'm not saying I understand where you're coming from. I understand the desire to have more because you want to support. You want to have the ability to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and make sure that the people around you are taken care of to the best of your ability.
No.
Okay. Then clearly I don't understand.
I agree. That's the first thing you said that I agree with.
Aaron, Rondell, you want to hop in? Questions?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna piggyback off what Anton said. Competitiveness. I feel like that's what drives someone's hunger to be a better version. Like I understand what you're saying, John, as far as I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna grow, but you come there to win. You don't come there to half step. If you're gonna take that step, you want to take that full step forward, and you bust your ass. Learn from it to be better, Like he said, go back and game plan. So I see where both you guys align as far as what you were saying, as far as where you find fun in competing. Well, not competing, but just cruising. Like you enjoy life for what life is. And I also understand where Anton's coming from, where it's like, there's so many different levels of life that if you're not going to open your eyes to the full spectrum of what it is, you'll never be able to see what it is. You'll never know. You don't know what you don't know, pretty much.
I don't know any woman that has been in a long-term marriage. And again, I don't feel like being in a relationship means anything. I feel like that's single. Either you're married or you're single, because there's nothing that's stopping a person from walking away from the situation and you can't do anything about it. All right. But I don't know anybody that's been in a marriage for an extended period of time where the woman did not want her man to compete, to go out and do better, to want better for the family. No woman wants to just subject herself subconsciously or consciously. No woman wants to just subject herself with a guy that's okay with being average. I've seen women being okay with a guy failing, but to not want to compete, to be satisfied and content. Content is a sure way to the death of a relationship in general, let alone in life. Like one of the reasons why I call my wife my chick or my girlfriend is because it puts me in a mindset that I'm always dating. I'm never going to get comfortable. I'm always going to be in the gym. I'm always going to be putting my best foot forward. Every day that I wake up, my head is shaved. My beard is tight. I want her to see the best version of me every day. I want her to feel like she's falling in love every single day. It's not about getting comfortable. It's about being in bliss. And the way that you're in bliss is by acquiring and getting to the top of every single thing. And that could just be in your own household. That could be that you are every single thing that woman could ever dream of going forward. Not just when she meets you, not when you just put your best foot forward, but also as you live your life. You are the best thing that she could have ever hoped for. My wife's mom called me today. This is the God's honest truth. She called me today and was like, yo, I could have never, ever even prayed for a better man for my daughter. You know why? Because she understands the difference between greatness and okay, and doing just enough to be able to survive. It's a mentality, and then that translates into your actions. But I don't know a woman that want to be with a guy long term. She may settle for that type of guy and hope that he changes, but no woman wants to be with a guy that's okay with being average. No woman wants to be with that.
Well, I mean, I didn't say. Here's the thing. Like, I go to my job. I do my absolute best every day. But what am I going to do? Quit my job, go try and start up a business, do all this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to understand what you mean by just being okay when you.
I'm not saying that you're a bad person. Every day. I'll tell you what. Don't even ask me. Ask Aaron. Ask Kristen. Let me ask you a question. Are you a gamer? Because you got on the headphones.
Yes.
Okay. See how I pay attention to the context clues? Are you gaming to have fun, or are you inherently competitive in that game?
Matters what type of game. Story-based games, I'm just having fun.
Right.
Like first-person shooters and stuff like that. Yeah, I get pretty competitive. I play competitive.
They
and
get
stuff
intense,
like
right?
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, cool. Aaron, let me ask you a question. The type of guy that you would like to surround yourself with, are you okay with him just being average? Like, are you willing to settle for that type of guy? Or is the type of guy that you want is the guy that's going to go out and do everything they can to ensure that you are the happiest that you can possibly be? Honestly.
Well, I believe I said this the last episode that I want to be with a man who will provide and take care of our family. And I am willing to quit my own job if I do find a guy like that. And I feel like it's very rare to find a guy like that these days.
Okay, cool. Clement, it's your show. Do your thing, fam.
Welcome. If you just joining in, this is CKQ Podcast. We are in the neck of the talk right now. Anton is bringing the heat towards everyone. Really
No,
pulling the
mostly just
questions
me.
out.
It's okay.
I mean, you are the one questioning. You're the one questioning. That's why.
Now you're getting emotional. I held Kristen
No,
to the fire.
I was making a joke out of it, man. Come on.
Held Kristen to the fire in the very beginning of the show.
All right. Next topic. People should know their SMV earlier to later help find their best partner, meaning their sexual marketplace value. You guys are not sure what that is? That's a term made popular by a man on YouTube, Kevin Samuels. Sexual marketplace value is how the opposite sex looks at us. As men, we are looked at as providers. If you're tall, if you're muscular, if you can actually, that's your value. A woman, her value comes in her beauty, her looks, her femininity. People learning that earlier will better help them find their partners later. What do you think, John?
Honestly, I don't really think that matters. And I know whatever I answer, it's going to be wrong somehow. But honestly, if you and the other person enjoy each other's company, you have a great time together, and you can have a functioning relationship, it doesn't matter. That's it.
Kristen.
I'm not sure I understand. Can you repeat it again?
So the sexual marketplace value. You understand what that is?
Kind of. So
Anton, could you explain it better than I can? I'm pretty sure you could.
Absolutely. So maybe I should just go ahead and answer the question, right?
Go for it.
But I feel like I'm gonna give you all the cheat code if I answer the question. All right. So sexual marketplace value in a nutshell is evaluated by what women want from men in a relationship and what men want from women in a relationship. Most guys, not all, but most guys, the things that they look for in a relationship from women often at time does not align with what women think that they bring to the table that a guy should consider. So, for example, you'll have a woman that say, well, I bring this to the table. I work a job. I make this amount of money, so on and so forth. But when you consider hypergamy, which is the idea that the woman wants the best option possible, women date up, men date down, right? Men usually rise to a standard and then select based off of their options, whereas women want the best possible, right? The idea behind it is that women, for example, would like a guy that provides, protects, a man's
John,
man
Sorry, Anton. John, could you mute? Could you mute when you're not talking, please?
A man's man, all of that other type of stuff, right? A guy that can earn and provide for the family, that provides stability that they can depend on if a situation goes left. You know, he can shoulder the burden, especially when it comes to household chores sometimes, whatever, right? Women think that they bring certain things to the table that men value, but often at times that's not necessarily aligned. So, for example, most guys that's at the top of their field don't care about how much money a woman makes. They don't care about certain things that women say that they bring to the table. They more or less align with a woman that they feel like would be a great mother, that focuses on her femininity and is beautiful, is usually agreeable and not something that would make the household difficult when they come home every day, so on and so forth. So when you take that into consideration, a guy's sexual marketplace value is much lower at an earlier age than a woman's sexual marketplace value, which she'll never be more beautiful probably than she was in her mid to early or late 20s, right? Which means that, and I've seen this in high school, like the woman always wanted to talk to the older guy, so on and so forth, right? So let's just say this is the woman here and this is the guy here, because the guy's earning potential is only going to go up. His ability to provide and protect and his maturity level, it grows slower and more as he gets older. Whereas a woman does this. So let's just say this is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, right? So the thing that where women are at, right, and what they're looking for at 30 is still the same thing. But a man's earning potential and his value goes up significantly more as he ages if he's on his purpose and he's on his grind. So the whole idea behind sexual marketplace value more or less aligns with the desires of men versus the desires of women and our understanding of each other and what we bring to the table as we age and throw in all of those other factors into the equation, so to speak.
John, hearing that, do you want to answer again?
I thought it was just some arbitrary bullshit scoring thing. So
no, you
yes.
still okay.
Well, no, yeah, I do want to amend my answer only because with not context, yes, it definitely changed my answer. Only to a point though. You should know generally where you stand. Is it the end all be all? No, but it is. Yeah, it's important.
Rhonda, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it's important because if you don't know your worth, like if you don't know your worth, let's say you're above what you don't even realize. Let's say you're higher than what you view yourself as. Other women are gonna see that. And some women see like, oh, all right, he's the ideal man. So they'll push for something that you're not really even looking toward. Like they'll push you toward a direction you're not really looking in. And
so now let's make this a little bit more challenging for some people. Mm-hmm. At what age do you actually want to start making people a little bit more aware? So like for a young girl, at what age would you tell her you're not that much of a looker, so you should probably work on your body a little bit more and probably be a lot nicer? Or for a guy, it's kind of like you're 5'2", bro. Get in the gym, get money. That's how you're going to make it in life. At what age do you think?
Straight jacket. Let's see. To tell a girl that she needs to hop in the gym, damn, I got to do this. So
that's why I said I want to make this a little bit more challenging.
But think about it like this, Rondell, okay? Because I know you're looking for the perfect balance between saying the politically correct thing and not offending anything, right? But if you want to just think about it in reality, because a lot of people today are the tone police. They want you to say it a certain type of way in order to make them feel good or not feel uncomfortable. But in reality, nobody wants to be with a fat person.
Right.
Your sexual marketplace value goes down significantly, and you can see it when women lose weight and they get fit. Their confidence goes up because they know more men are looking for them. Their options have widened significantly versus if they would have just remained in that comfortable place where they could have found somebody, but their options were significantly slimmer as a result of them not focusing on the things that raise their sexual marketplace value. Okay, so that'll help. Maybe that helps you out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would say right before 2021, if they haven't already gotten it together, like if you're not even thinking in that direction as far as like step it up, like I think Because you know, like 21 is the age where that's the ideal age of you're legal, you can do whatever you want. Everyone thinks like between 18 and 21, it's like, all right, I'm approaching being free. I mean, if you're gonna go into that direction, I mean, most people start having sex probably like, I mean, they depending on who you are, you know, you can start as early as really early, but I'm gonna just throw an average out there, maybe like 17, maybe. So I'm
Kristen?
thinking my age, you know.
I understand like the marketplace value thing, which is like kind of like how society views you, but I feel like everyone, like your priorities change kind of like not change your priorities. I think everyone's priorities or like what they want from a partner or in life differ from each person. So like obviously there are like societal standards, but like you're not like, we're all like similar, but we're all different too. And so like, you know, you might not have a high marketplace value or whatever, but then you find a person who you guys have your priorities match up, and it like, I don't think like appeasing like society and like matching that value is actually going like, yeah, you'll have more options, but that doesn't mean that the options are going to be good either.
That is that feminist narrative that we've been taught for so long that is going to keep you single if you have not already found the person for you. That's unfortunate.
Aaron, what's your thought on that?
I guess I kind of agree with Anton in terms of like his example of a woman, being heavier and then losing weight. She feels more confident, because I've definitely been in that place. And you feel like your market value is higher, and you feel like you have more of a chance to find and maybe even more men. More options, basically.
I mean, think about it though. It's like, I'm not even going to use it. I mean, if you really put it in perspective, right? Because your value is not defined based off of how we see ourselves. It's based off of what other people place on us. So to ignore society's place or role, and we live in society, right? We have to exist in it. We have to interact with people on a daily basis. We understand that job opportunities and growth come from people liking you and not necessarily just because you do the best job. You have to be around people. You have to conform to societal norms and standards in order to even go into certain restaurants. So to ignore that and act like that does not play a role, or you should not even consider that, or that should not be a priority in your life, is short-sighted. It's incredibly short-sighted. Like when you go to the car dealership, you prefer to have the new car. Nobody goes to the car dealership and say, well, I don't mind getting a 300,000 mile car that has no worth or value that's probably going to break down on me later. I don't mind being in a relationship with somebody that eats bad and they're probably going to have a lifespan in which they can't run and play with our kids when we have them. I don't mind getting that guy that's 4'9" instead of getting the guy that's 6'3", muscular, actually cares about himself and has a good job. Nobody goes into society and say, I'm okay with below average. Subconsciously and consciously, we all want the best. And if that aligns with our principles, it's a perfect catch. And that's the thing that we're seeking. And when we have this narrative or this perspective that we're going to not conform to society's perspectives as it relates to our life, that is a surefire way to find yourself in a space to where you're unhappy 10 and 15 and 20 years from now and trying to figure out what happened with your life because you settled. You settled and you did not put your best foot forward. You did not seek the thing that's going to fulfill you. And you were short-sighted and not paying attention to the long-term effects of your decisions today. Nobody looks at anything and says, I want the used one. They want the best of everything. They want the best job. They want the best money. They want the best partner. They want the best workspace. They want the best phones. Nobody goes to the store and says, I want an iPhone 6. They say, I'll settle for an iPhone 6 because I don't feel like I need all of those features. But if you're going to give me that one for the same price, I'll take it. That's what they say.
Agreed. I I think so. What number would everyone actually settle on, John? What number would you say people should start actually knowing their SMV?
What do you mean? What number?
Yeah, what
Like
age? At what age do you think people should start actually being told how to properly move around to get their best option?
I am just being introduced to this concept tonight.
Well, the word, but
do you, John? Can I ask you a question, bro? Honestly,
Sure.
Do you have any like guy mentors in your life that you seek guidance from, where you run things by them, or you just kick it with them, and you like, you know what? What do you think about this? What do you think about this circumstance? What do you think about this happening in society? Do you have guy mentors in your life that? And mentor is a strong word. So do you have
I have guy friends? Yes.
No, not guy friends. I'll say guys that hold you accountable. Your friends often at time enjoy your company, but I'm talking about people that don't have any, that are not looking to enjoy your company. Somebody that's not necessarily trying to have fun with you. Somebody that don't care about what you think, but the person that's actually going to tell you the truth based off of what they think is the best thing for you. Do you have that circle in your life? Honestly,
I don't have any men like that. No.
I got you. Okay.
You know, honestly, I am the only man in my family except for my brother-in-law.
I got you, fam.
I've got guy friends, you know, that we hang out and we give each other shit. And when somebody's being a dick or makes a bad decision, we call each other out on it. But
I got you.
You know,
Aaron, at what age do you think? So let me frame it this way, because for women, a lot of the times it's like you try your hardest to keep your weight down. You don't really want to balloon up too fast, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, no, yeah. So at what age would you start saying to younger girls, like, okay, this is what men really care about. This is how you're going to move the best in your world. This is how you're going to feel the most confident in yourself. At what age would you start telling them this matters a lot? So be on top of this.
Oh man. I feel like that's just so harsh. But at the same time, I feel like
I mean, do you think it is important though?
I do. I wish I kind of had that guidance when I was younger, because I was so up and down in terms of like, you know, everything. But I would have to say maybe like 16.
Okay. Kristen, at what age did you say?
I don't think that should. I think it's important to find what you value and look for what you value in another person. Like I don't think and what you value in yourself, and be the best person that you can be, and that includes looks and priorities and intelligence and stuff like that. And then you'll attract someone who like has those as their values and priorities. I don't think that, you know, I think putting a kid in therapy and and teaching them, hey, it's important to learn what you love and you want so that you find a partner who is equal to that, is something that should be taught. I feel like 16 would be a good age, but I don't think like the sexual marketplace value or whatever is something that should be taught. I think that is detrimental, and the psychology would say that's detrimental, especially to teenagers' mental health. To be like, oh, it's important how society all sees you. That's how you get eating disorders and stuff like that. That is absolutely like no way.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the end all be all, but I would definitely educate.
I think educating based on your health. Eating healthy is important. Taking care of your body is important, but saying how people view you, I think going to a doctor, staying healthy, doing the things, working out is very good for your heart. Those are the things that you should be focusing on, not how people see you, because that is so detrimental to someone's mental health.
Reality, though?
I
feel like it also depends on who it's coming from.
Reality, everyone looks at each other at certain ways, and I think
that's true.
But bringing it up to a child and saying, "Hey, you have to look this way, or else no one's going to like you," is.
I feel like you're just sheltering your child.
Yep.
I think it depends where it's coming from. You know what I mean? If one of your buddies is like, dude, that beard looks terrible. You should shave that. You look like shit. That's cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or your buddy being like, dude, you got fired again? Why? What you're fucking up. Stop. Like, wake up. But somebody like on the street just walking up to you and being like, you have a terrible beard, and also that shirt looks bad on you. It's kind of
Yeah, but you're using an extreme situation in order to create a narrative. The whole idea is that we all need to surround ourselves with people that's actually going to hold us accountable, but everything we do is a learned behavior. So if you've raised a child to only look at things based off of what makes them feel good, that creates a situation where they're only looking to be in a space that makes them comfortable versus the thing that's actually going to push them forward in order to grow to get the things that they ultimately will want in life. How many times have we seen kids ultimately resent the parents that raised them because they coddled them too much and they didn't hold them accountable and they didn't give them the insight or the game or the harsh realities or the discipline or hold them accountable for their actions for the sake of wanting to be their friend instead of wanting to be their parent? The parent is the one that's going to prepare you for success. They're not there to be a friend. They're there to be honest with you in order to tell you the harsh realities so that you'll not only have to survive, but thrive and really live your best life possible.
Yeah,
isn't that a different, you know what I mean? Like the MVS,
SMV, sexual
SMV.
marketplace value. Yeah.
What does that have to do with having structure in your life as a child? Because raising children, you teach them to do things so that they can be functional human beings as they age.
No,
But
that's not true. As a parent, you want the absolute best for your child. Do you have do you have any kids?
No, I don't have any kids.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, okay, so me as a parent, right? And I'm the father of one daughter. Very intentional, had a vasectomy, knew I didn't want any more kids. I only wanted one because I wanted to pour every single thing I had into that daughter in order to make her successful, right? The whole idea is that as much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand and drill down into her good habits today so that they are not the things that hinder her from success tomorrow. So, for example, no guy wants to be with a woman that's unruly, a woman that's real bossy, that has a lot to say all the time. Now, that does not mean, now, what does that mean? Does that mean that we teach her to shut up all the time? No. It means that we teach her how to communicate more effectively. You're more likely to be able to get results with honey than vinegar, right? You don't have to be combative. You can say things. You can say the same thing if you change your tone and move a specific type of way. So my point then becomes, and that's just a small example, but my point becomes me not helping her to understand that nobody wants to be around. And I'm not even just talking about men in general or relationships, but just in life. People don't want to be around people that are unruly, especially when it comes to women. Men are more accepted. Is it fair? No, life ain't fair. It's not fair that I wasn't born as one of the children of Bill Gates. Unfortunate. So what? This is the hand that I was dealt. This is the reality. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of what you react to it, how you react to it. Control the controllables. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to operate. Nobody wants to be around a fat girl, so make sure that you keep your weight down. Oh, does that mean that she's going to have an eating disorder? Well, I can guarantee you she's not going to have diabetes. You know what I'm saying? So my point just becomes, at some point, of course, balance is necessary. Of course, we have to be mindful, and we can't be, what was Michael Jackson's dad, Joe Jackson? You can't be him, right? You don't want to create monsters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do want to keep in mind that because you want the best for somebody and because you express love, people are more willing to take constructive criticism and even discipline when they know it comes from a place of love and you're trying to teach a lesson. Do not subject yourself to the idea that we have to be in this cupcake society, because it's a lot of people that's living with regret today because nobody was in their corner or they didn't allow themselves to be in the presence of other people that actually held them accountable or gave them the insight or the game that was actually going to elevate them and push them in a space that's actually conducive for what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
I just don't, I agree with everything you've said about teaching kids harsh lessons, because it's important that children have a structured life. and learn skills so that they can be functional human beings later. And how to interact with, other human beings and not be abrasive. I just don't understand how we went from the MSV to child
SMV, because
MSV,
SMV. So what he asked was, let me bring it back for you. What he asked was, at what age should you start highlighting
away.
these things? Yes, I'm saying that at the earliest age in which a kid can understand, you need to start inputting these lessons, and it doesn't have to be so blatant. You don't have to say, well, your sexual market value is going to go down, so you got to do it. No, you don't have to do that, right? But we have to start highlighting and putting into people early, because as they get older, in most instances, they just become more of what they already are. They become hardened in their ways and the ways in which they was taught. So if you put it in them as a little child, most of the time it'll stick with them. If you teach them to eat well, or no, we're not going to McDonald's because we eat like this, and so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with life. If you teach people and you rear them correctly, most of the time, and of course you're going to find some anomalies, but most of the time people will hold on to it as they get older.
Yeah, I wanted to I guess take back my previous answer. I think, the younger you start, the better. Just off of examples, like when you said like having a male figure, like a strong figure to tell you how to live your life. Like my older brothers were that for me. Like my brother got out of jail, he instantly had me on a 10 sets of 10 push-ups, pull-ups, dips. I was like 12 years old in the bathroom each period doing push-ups for no reason. People looking at me like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, I just got to get my sets in. And I was programmed at a young age until now. Like, it's still religion for me. And even my older brother, he also told me, he was like, well, Dell, you don't ever want to live with a woman because their favorite word when y'all get in an argument is get out. Always gotta have your own. Always gotta, bro. That turned me into an ambitious go-getter. I'm like, bro, there's no way I will ever depend. I gotta stand on my own too. And it's funny because I was programmed. All I did was just listen as a kid. I just listened to them talk. And now where I'm at in life, I didn't realize it. That was always my problem, I guess. Like I never realized who I was and the jewels that I had with me. But I definitely agree. The younger, the better.
It makes sense now that we.
Yeah. Now, like I ain't gonna lie, listen to it, I'm like, damn, hold up, that's my life. Like, everything you're saying, that's how my life came to be. That's a fact. I would definitely not know 18. The younger.
It's the kids. The kids pay for the sins of their parents. I mean, I agree. Whether you're a spiritual person, and I'm a person that reads the Bible. I've read it back and forth 7 times. I study it daily. And then I look at the and I'm not saying that you need to study the Bible. I'm just saying that the parallels exist and that the same things happen today. It's not the parents that suffer as a result of their decisions. It's their lineage or the people that come after them that suffer as a result of their decisions. And they have to often at times not only unlearn a lot of the BS and the ways in which we've subjected ourselves to, to make everybody else feel good in our societal norms, but also at times they also have to pick up the slack and try to change the direction of their lineage by overcompensating for a lot of the things that their parents failed for. So it's not about us. It's not about how we feel. And I honestly embrace that whole narrative and idea behind, as a man, I don't have the luxury of taking myself into consideration when I'm making decisions. Every single thing I do, I understand that it impacts the people that's around us. That's just how I operate. I don't operate in my feelings. I operate in my purpose.
Dope. That was a really good back and forth, people. I like that. There's a little clip I want to show you guys real quick. All right. Here we go. This is from the Fresh and Fit podcast. All right. Shout out to those guys over there. And before the next question.
We're equal when it suits you, and we're not equal when it doesn't suit you. We are not the same. We are not the same. It's the reality of the world.
That's not the part. Oh, that's not the part. I lost it. Oh, guys, this is embarrassing.
No worries. We get it.
That sucks. Man. Okay. Well, That happens. On to the next question.
I'm switching it up, Clement. You know I'm taking off the Apple Watch. I got to put on the Rolex.
No, yeah. Gotta let them know. Gotta flex.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the gold, the slate, the Wimbledon, the beauty.
Go for it. At some point, I'll get to that.
Yeah, you'll get there, bro. You'll get there.
All right. This one I feel is pretty important. I find this one is pretty important in this generation. Less importance is placed on the wisdom of elders. Has that aided in the marriage and relationship decline? Rondell?
I would say yes. I mean, I feel like wisdom from your elders. I feel like they were here before you. They've experienced different things. Yes, they lived in different times, but at the end of the day, they still possess insight that could only benefit you, you know. Depending on who you are. I feel like the receiver definitely is 90% of, you know, the outcome, but I feel like the insight that people before us give us definitely play a role in how we function in life. I mean, it's just like the question you had asked previously about should you raise your child to know their worth or to know how to be a better person versus not. I mean, I feel like someone's character has a lot to do with where they were raised. Does that? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I'm on the same page.
Do you feel like you got everything out that you want to say, though?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my whole point of that is we don't take into consideration what the older generation has to say towards our life.
Oh, you're saying we don't listen?
We don't. Yes.
Well,
we as in this generation does not care much for what the older generation has to impart on us, the knowledge they have to impart on us. We don't care. We don't care that much about it.
You're speaking as if it's a whole. I mean, I personally don't feel that way.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always listened. Like, I'm always going to take in information and let it circulate and go off of what I agree with versus what I disagree with. And I feel like you can't completely disagree with 100% of anything that's spoken to you. Like, that's just my own personal perspective. Right?
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. This generation definitely doesn't listen to the generation before them. Like, the majority of us. Everyone's on their own type of time now.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
Aaron, what do you think?
I mean, personally, I'm not that type of person. Like, I wish we could bring back, you know, I wish I could be in that generation, because this generation, I don't even know what to call it, but I think that's my personal opinion. But overall, I think society, you know, they don't really care.
I like your glasses, Aaron.
Thank you.
Man notices everything. Headphones, glasses. It's all those books he reads.
Gotta pay attention to the little things.
John, what do you think? Talk to me.
The problem is that every generation thinks that they are living in the most important time ever. And we have different struggles than our parents or grandparents or great-grandparents had, but we're all still living life. We're all still on Earth. We all have to eat. We all have to sleep. We all have to deal with our jobs. We have to move forward and progress. And to disregard any subject where somebody has infinitely more time invested, to just completely disregard any input that they would have, would just be stupid. You know, I do see that a lot of people just don't pay attention, but I think it's more a rebellious youth thing necessarily than a generational thing.
All right. I agree with that. Kristen?
I mean, I think it's really important to listen to your elders. Like, I wouldn't say take it as gospel, but I think that they have the life lessons that you're eventually going to learn. And, you know, I know all of us as teenagers didn't want to listen to our parents. Like, I know, whatever. Like, I think everyone goes through that at some point. So I kind of agree with the youthfulness of it, like that John was speaking on, because to a certain extent, you know, everyone goes through that phase where, like, whatever, mom, dad, or anything. But I think it really is important to listen to your elders. They have a lot to teach, and you can, you heard it in history class, like, don't repeat the mistakes of the past by, listening to what happened. So, I think if people aren't listening, then yeah, that would lead to declines. But I don't think like that's necessarily like the only reason. Yeah, I not that it's not eating it. I think that there's some. I don't think it's the only thing.
Okay, but it's aiding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's aiding what? The decline of marriage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Decline of marriage and even relationships as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't subject myself to the idea that relationships are even a thing. I think that you can have relationships with anybody. I just think that marriage, people don't see the value, and they don't even understand what marriage is. People are even writing their own vows, not even understanding exactly what they're saying and how they're going to evolve and change over time. And I think that it's a huge mistake. The problem with people is that we don't get to live to be 1,000 years old. And the reason why it's so unfortunate is because by the time we actually figure it out, it's already too late. We die off, and then the next generation wind up coming behind us and repeating the same mistakes. We don't actually get to, I always say, fail early, or, when I tell people to go and experience life or do this thing or try this thing, always tell them you're young enough to recover and try it early. Because when I was doing a lot of volunteer work with older people, I would always ask them, what's your number one regret? And their number one regret, it was two things. The first regret was that they didn't truly live in their purpose, and they always, kind of looked at life laissez-faire. They were just existing. It was almost like they was moving through life based off of the expectations that of just survival. It wasn't any kind of thriving going on. It wasn't any intention. It wasn't any purpose. And they lived to die. They would work 30 years to retire. You see what I'm saying? And there was never any intention or purpose that came along with it. And then the second thing that they would always say is that they regretted not actually like doing the things that made them uncomfortable, trying to start that business, even if they failed, traveling to this place. A lot of these same people, because, technology has changed and things are a lot more visible, and we're able to communicate with other people a lot more effectively, even people that we've never met before. But, a lot of these same people never truly even left their state. I know a lot of people that died and they never left the state that they were born in.
So
my whole point is that we'll never as a society truly, and I'm talking about as a collective, not as individuals, but as a collective overall, we'll never truly embrace the sacrifices that came along with our elders. And I think that even though I agree with a lot of what John said, one thing that he said really stuck out that I didn't necessarily align with is that, people always feel like they have it worse, or they have, they're living in their purpose. I forgot how he framed it, but
they always feel that they're living in the most important time.
It kind of presents its own set of problems. I would counter that by saying that every single generation has it significantly easier than the generation before.
Definitely.
Significantly easier. We're all at some point standing on the shoulders of giants, but at the same time, we're unwilling to embrace or even highlight and study and even sit under and experience or let them tell us their stories behind why they think the way they think and how they came to be who they are, which ultimately would affect us in a positive way. So one of the things that I've always done is I've always sat under old people. One of the reasons why I would do volunteer work with older people is because they gave me so much game and insight and wisdom at an early age, which I leveraged to actually benefit me in a positive way. So I don't think that we'll ever truly appreciate and embrace the wisdom that comes from older people. And that's why you'll always get pushback as though they need you, right? But at the same time, it has aided in the decline of marriage. People are less likely to get married. They're more likely to get divorced. the marriage rates are down. And ultimately, when you ask people, okay, well, why do you feel this way? Or why do you think this way? What they'll tell you is what they think, not what is statistically, what they can back up with statistics. They won't tell you anything that aligns with why it makes sense. They only telling you how they feel. Well, I don't feel this way, or I don't like that. Well, don't nobody care about what you like. The only thing that society cares about is results. So people will never, as long as we can only live 100 years old, will never truly embrace the wisdom that comes along with our elders. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate.
So why do you think that we cannot get that? Like, why do you think that we as a generation just aren't receptive to that information? Like, why aren't we trying to go after it a little bit more?
Well, it's not you. It's every generation.
Mhm.
Every generation operated the exact same. So it's not unique to this generation. The generation before did the same thing with their parents, and prior to that, the generation before did the same thing. So it's not unique. It's just that we're not mature enough to operate out of what makes sense instead of operating on how we feel. Think about it. It's the reason why we pick partners based off of love. It's all based off of how you feel. It's the reason why people embrace social media so hard, and it's so important to get that like. You got to get more likes. You got to get more eyes. You got to get more attention on you. It's the reason why people are still so obsessed with fame. They will trade in everything that they have to align themselves to get more eyes on them. It's not you. It's not unique. It's always been that way. It's just the way we are. We built that way.
I like that. That's good. I never actually looked at it that way. This one might go after the ladies a little bit more. It is up to a woman to show her value after sex to keep a man.
How is this even a question?
So, what I mean is, men typically want sex from a woman. So once he gets it, what's stopping him from leaving? And that's why I asked that question. Once a guy gets sex from a woman, what real need does he have to stay? Because he's got sex. He's got what he wanted. It was a conquest. He finally got that dangling carrot. Now what? Aaron?
He can leave. Bye-bye. That's what I have to say. That's my answer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Kristen?
I mean, if a woman, this is gonna sound real bad. If a woman literally, like, if she didn't show it, like, if he didn't show interest in other than just sex with her in the first place, then she probably shouldn't have slept with him. If that's like, unless that's what she wanted to do. If she wanted to just have sex, that's fine and all. But like, if he was only interested in sex, then you shouldn't have slept with him. Like, you're not gonna keep a man by sleeping with him. Like, that's not how that works.
So how do you know? How do you know a guy doesn't just want sex? How do you know he's not telling you what you want to hear in order to get what he wants?
Time and communication, I guess. I mean,
Okay, so he's patient.
Well, then damn, that guy worked real, he put in a lot of work to sleep with me, and so if he got away with that, then fine. I guess I'll go with Aaron's. Yeah. Goodbye. You got one over on me.
I got a way I see this, but Rondell, let me hear you. What do you see? What do you think?
Next, huh?
Put yourself in that situation.
I mean, me personally, it depends on how fast you give it up. Honestly, like, if I don't really tell you and I was able to get it, I mean,
you sleep with her the first night. Then what? Like, what would make you actually stay with her?
I mean, I feel like chemistry. Like, I'm not the type to just dog you out. dip. I'm on some like I'm trying to see what you're about. Like I always give a chance to see what you're about. I was never into just. I was never that.
Pounce and bounce.
Yeah, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand the whole.
But I mean, if she giving it to you on the first night, why are you trying to get to know her? She for the streets, bro.
Yeah, I already know. That's what I'm saying. It's like it depends.
So what are we talking about then?
Ooh, that would have been a good question then. Okay.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not always about sex with me. Like, if I hit the sex, yeah, that's auto, but I'm still gonna try and see what you're about, unless you airhead. Like,
so you saying that we don't slot girls in two different categories? The first category being the chick that we just want to knock off, and then the other category is the chick that we would actually consider to have a long-term relationship with?
Nah, we definitely do categorize them.
Okay, so if we categorize them, why are we considering mixing up the categories when it comes to a chick that we already knocked off?
Yeah, I mean, that was my thing with the question, because he's saying, like, what does a woman have to show? How does she show her value after you've had sex? I'm like, bro, if I smashed as soon as I met you, you already showed me your value. That's like my personal.
I'm just going based off of what you said, because you said that I might get to know her a little bit.
I know, but then I try not to violate, because I'm like, should I violate her character? Like,
Aaron already told you to get out.
Yeah, I mean,
she kicked you out, bro. That's it.
I guess that's a good question.
I have a question. So how do you know?
Girl.
Okay, let's just say you didn't sleep together on the first night. How do you know you're interested in pursuing more?
From a woman's perspective?
Or from a man's perspective.
You want to ask that because that's level 2.
Well, come on, you never want to answer my question.
No, I'll answer. I just don't want to. I want to give John, because I know that John.
I want to go around the whole panel first.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, we. Oh, trust me, I feel very comfortable answering these questions.
John.
For the streets,
honestly, if I'm meeting a chick and she's like DTF right now, bro, most likely I'm not gonna be very interested. I enjoy.
Would you still sleep with her?
It depends how well we get along. I'm very. I have to like somebody. You know, I have to enjoy their company. If you're a bitch but you're hot, I don't even want to get involved with you. I'm not down. I don't care. I'd rather just play video games at home or something, or go on a hike or whatever, and just.
But what if she like hypothetical situation? If she's that and she like, but you know what? I mean, I'm not necessarily looking to have a long conversation, but I'm feeling a type of way right now. Would you come and knock me off real quick? You taking her up on that offer, or are you walking away?
If I don't like her as a person,
she's
I'm
super
not gonna be
hot. She's super hot too.
Doesn't matter.
Hot. Okay, I just want to.
If I don't like her, you know what I mean? Like if I've
you like her physically, but you listen. She ain't trying to talk to you. She just y'all met at the bar. It's a situation.
Yeah, still, nah, that's no for me.
Your cock is hard. You're not trying to rub one out that night. She looking real hot. What's going on? So you just walking away and like, nah, I'd rather rub one out this tonight.
No, I'd rather hang out with my friends, or get up early and go on a hike tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Do something that I enjoy than be with somebody that I'm just gonna. Nah, it's not worth it. Don't care. Well, you brought up this topic actually earlier last time we talked. Why are you having sex with chicks and banging them if you're not ready for?
I'm asking you the question. I didn't give my answer yet.
No, okay. No, I'm not.
Well, don't answer the question based off of what you think I'm gonna say.
No, like, I'm not. I'm not answering based on what I think you're gonna say. There's got to be some kind of back and forth there. I've got to have some kind of enjoyment in their company. I'm not just banging chicks. And to answer Aaron's question, I know that I'm interested if I enjoyed their company, if I had a good conversation, if she was intelligent and coherent and not jumping
Well, I would
at my
imagine that you're
pants.
not
So
talking to
I
a
guess
girl
my
that's not
question is, so when
that's
do you
incoherent.
determine whether or not you would sleep with her that night or wait? Like,
If we had a great time together and enjoyed each other's company, and I genuinely liked the interaction that I had with her, and then that subject was brought up, then it's a possibility. But I'm not just, hey, you're hot, let's bang. No.
You've never had a one night stand or none of that, right?
Nope.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Anton, you wanna answer this?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know if you want me to answer Aaron's question first or
I kind of want you to answer Aaron's. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Aaron, what's the
Let's
question?
go. Let's get a fight going.
I don't even remember my question now.
No,
No.
you was oh, look at Kristen. Go ahead, Chris. Let's go, Chris.
You wanted to know how do you know when a guy is interested in like pursuing things further or just sex? I think that's something.
Yes, that was the question. Thank you.
Every guy is interested in sex. So no matter what, they're always going to petition. Like if he's not trying to bust you down, then you got bigger problems, right? So the thing is, you are the guardian of the galaxy. Like you are the one that controls the narrative, and if you want to actually see whether or not a guy is really rocking with you long term, then you probably should hold off a little bit.
That's what I figured.
It's the easiest way to filter through the ones that's actually willing. Now, that does not mean that there aren't guys that are persistent and willing to endure long enough to actually get to the box, but you'll be able to filter it out a little bit more and find out whether or how they value or how they slot you more or less if you hold off for a little bit.
Can I add to that? If a guy actually remembers what you talked about last time, he probably is, interested in you versus just banging. Like, if he actually remembers, like, I'm
always
usually, not always.
Because that's a part of the game. It's to pay attention. Well, no, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. But what's the other question? You got a follow-up question, Aaron?
Yes, I do. So do men typically think about like, say you are interested, do you usually give yourself like a number of dates that you'd see like, she'll give it, let's see if she gives it up, or, do you give it like a time limit?
Me personally, I feel like every girl wants to sleep with me on the first night. So I'm an unfair person to ask that question to. Honestly, I'm an unfair person to ask that question to. However, you'd have to ask that to somebody else simply because for
in
me,
general, what do men typically
you say? Maybe I can answer it that. Okay, so you're saying what's their expectation as far as how many times they interact with you before they can
I put a timeline on it.
It depends on how we slot you. If we slot you as a person that's actually of value, then we hope that you actually espouse some level of respect and set a standard in which you highlight that that's not what you're here for and whatever. And you don't have to say, well, this is not what I'm here for. And if you don't respect me, you don't have to say all of that. It's in your actions.
Right.
It's in the way that you communicate. It's in the fact that you show interest, but at the same time, you don't necessarily highlight or participate in a way that would show you for the streets. All right. But at the same time, if a girl is willing to give it up, 99 out of 100 guys minus John over here is going to bust you down. I don't know guys that's find a woman that's incredibly attractive and is not going to bust them down if they give them the opportunity. So
it's highly dependent on the situation, man.
So Anton, what do you think of this question though? It is up to a woman to show her value after sex to keep a man.
No, I think it's up to a woman to show her value before sex to keep a man. So I would word it differently as far as what the expectation is for a woman. from a guy's perspective, and also take into consideration that there's context. So there's different types of guys, right? There's guys that ain't worth nothing. There's guys that actually is looking for a wife, and then there's guys that are both. They're looking for, well, not worth nothing, but they're looking for a wife. But that does not mean that they're not active in the meantime, and they're slotting the girls and they're taking advantage of the situation that they're in, right? But then at the same time, they're paying attention and they're highlighting and keeping an eye on the people that they actually find value in to marry. So I think it's important for a woman to show value before sex. It's easy for me.
What do you find a woman's value? What could be the best value in a woman?
How she carries herself, how she I think it's such a big deal nowadays, and I hate to say it over and over again, but a woman that does not subscribe to this whole I'm on an equal playing field, or almost I'm on the same level as men. Women that are feminine, women that value how they look, women that's able to communicate effectively. Also women that you can take around your friends and not be embarrassed by her. She is not going to be a representation of the thing that they laugh at. Or you can take her to an event and she can carry herself a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So a woman that can wear multiple hats as far as being able to fill certain slots in a man's life, and that she adds value to him and she's not necessarily trying to compete with him. I think that that's the ideal woman for a guy that's in a certain space that is successful in most areas of his life, and he's looking for somebody that he wants to settle down with. Because ultimately you have to be the mother of my children. And I would, that's the ultimate thing that a woman can give a guy is children. And people that understand that and people that value that look for different things in women versus just an ability for her to be bust down. So
I like that. That was a good answer. Always dropping gems. I
try a little bit. Hey, Kristen, I didn't forget about you either from the last show. Don't think I forgot about you. I'm letting Clement get through.
Yeah, we got one more, and then we'll get the finale. All right. So this last one, I don't know if you guys saw Steve Harvey recently, but he says men and women cannot be friends.
Look at Chris. She perked up for that one.
So if it's strictly platonic, there is no sexual. Men and women cannot be friends. Kristen.
I got a feeling I know how John gonna answer on this one, but this should be fun.
Oh, I 100% think men and women can be platonic friends, because we can also go into the whole LGBT community. If a gay guy is gay and there's this sexual tension, does that mean he cannot have male friends? Same with lesbians. If it's strictly platonic, boundaries aren't crossed, and it is communicated, I think men and women can be platonic friends. Because then also you have
heterosexual men and women, can they have a strictly platonic friendship?
I think they can, yes. I think they can.
Okay. Rondell, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I do think it's possible. I feel like that just comes down to, if you have a problem with it, then obviously you're insecure about something. That's my personal opinion on it. But yeah, I don't think there's an issue with a female having a male friend. Who you're getting in a relationship with or with. I feel like those decisions were made prior to the relationship. Now, if she has a male friend after y'all got in a relationship, then different, I guess. But I'm assuming.
Hey, Rondell, are you friends with any real bad chicks, like fine, absolutely gorgeous chicks? Are you just friends with them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So you have some women friends in your life that are gorgeous, good looking. I'm not talking about no wolves. I'm talking about gorgeous women. You have gorgeous women in your circle that you're just platonic friends with? Don't worry about it. You already answered the question. You ain't even got to answer anymore.
I'm saying Bush, like drop dead, like a damn supermodel, like.
No, okay, so she really good looking.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I got it. Good looking.
And if she texts you right now and was like, "Yo, Rondell, I mean, you know, I kind of been paying attention to you. I think that we should. I want you to come over. You cool with that? You done? You're not gonna bust that down?
Nah, man, nah.
You liar!
Wow.
You are lying. You lying so hard, fam.
Yeah.
Why'd you start smiling immediately when I said it?
Nah, because I knew you were going with the question that you
Do your thing, Clement.
Who's answered? John, have you answered?
I have not.
Okay.
Yes, but it's incredibly rare. Usually, relationship formed in childhood. Almost always, friendship between a man and a woman who are both straight. One wants to bang the other. That's 99% of the time. There is always an exception to the rule, but that's the case most of the time.
Sorry, say that again?
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, just the last part.
That 99% of the time, one wants to bang the other. And there's exceptions to that rule, but it's.
I knew you had it in you, John. I knew you had it in you. Just had to be pulled out of you. I like that answer. I just like that answer.
It's completely true, man. I gotta be honest, dude.
Kristen don't like your answer. I like your answer.
And like I said, there are exceptions, but most of the time, that's the situation.
Anton, for you?
Oh, I mean, I don't think that guys and women can, and the overwhelming majority of the situation, I don't think that we can be friends. No. I love being around attractive women. I am absolutely obsessed with beautiful women. You see how I'm looking at Aaron right now? But no, really, seriously, like I don't have female friends. I have women that I do business with. I have women that I align with in order to achieve a specific purpose, you know, things like that. But just on some regular, you think I'm about to be sitting around building a platonic relationship, going out to eat and spending time with this gorgeous girl just for the sake of saying, I don't know any guy that walks up to a girl and say, yo, I'm approaching you because I really want to be your friend. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Like, that does not happen. It's not real. And most of the time, women are unaware. They're painfully oblivious to the idea that this guy that they're calling their friend really wants to bust you down. They really want to listen.
This is getting real.
The only reason that they haven't did it is because you haven't let them, and they may not be assertive enough.
I'm just going to make this real awkward then. Clement, me and you were friends in high school. Are you saying that was the case?
Clement, be honest.
Absolutely. You are hot.
Oh,
seriously. Seriously. You're smoking hot. Like, serious.
I told you.
Like,
I told you.
Absolutely, of course. But I was a simp. Like, I was literally like too shy to do anything.
See, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Chris. And here's the beautiful thing about it is that, again, like I said, women are painfully oblivious to the guy or to the idea that guys want to bust them down, and they are your friend and they can enjoy all of the other things that come along with your friendship, but do not think for 1 second that they have not imagined busting you down. Real awkward, huh, Chris?
You wanted to make it awkward. I told you the truth. You got awkward about it. These are facts, all right? We're adults, all right?
Look at that. You got comments right now. Look, Kristen is still smoking. You like that?
Yeah, look at that. These are facts.
That's my buddy.
I don't know who that is.
That's my friend.
That's a guy. That's what it is. That's a guy. Men and know
Chris,
what
You
men
still
know.
think it's off? You still hold that same sentiment, Chris?
I still think that men and women can be platonic friends. Yeah.
It's funny.
You
I
mean
actually
women
writing that
can be
question. I knew
platonic friends?
it was gonna happen.
What? Uh,
Chris, you're not that naive, are you?
uh, um.
Take the guy that you feel is your best friend right now. Text him and say, "Yo, I want you to come over and have sex and see how you react."
Oh, I know for a fact he wouldn't. I know for a fact he wouldn't.
Oh, he's probably gay.
Is he gay?
He's not gay. He's not gay. But yeah, I know
So
for a
Is he
fact.
married?
he's a simp.
No, we just that's that. No.
What you know what's so funny? She would have said the same thing about Clement. Just 3 minutes ago, she would have said the same thing.
That is fact. That is fact.
And just because she believe it, don't mean that it's any less true either. So, but no, I don't even put myself in a position I have to turn down because I like beautiful women. Listen, my wife know I like beautiful women. I love being around gorgeous people, and there's nothing crazy about it because we are sexual beings. Like I've trained myself to not pay attention to women, and that like I can walk past women and not pay her any mind whatsoever. And I also understand that I'm the prize. So, any woman that's around me is to a certain extent. And this it just is what it is. It's a privilege. It's a privilege for her to be in my presence. So when you take that into consideration, you move different because no woman wants to be with a guy. All of the guys are just like he's just horny all the time, and every single woman that passes him or whatever. So you have to exercise some level of discipline. However, no, I'm not about to sit here and play no games. I'm not about to just be kicking it with you and on the phone and going to coffee and acting like we friends in the same way that your girlfriends are friends with you. No, we're not doing that. Like I'm not about to spend a night over your house and not touch you. I am pulling them panties way down, and it is going down. I am not built for it, so I just don't even put myself in a position.
Rondell, do you still stand on your point? After all this. Even John.
Your smile,
Even
bro.
John.
I mean, me personally, from where I stand, as far as I'm not gonna go. I'm not doing it.
Hey, Rondell, blink twice if there's somebody in the room listening that you don't want to hear this conversation. What? I'm just saying. Because I feel like we would get a different answer if don't worry about it. We'll talk.
That's probably
about
right.
That's the after show. I knew it.
You want to say her? Say her.
Chris is like, yo, I didn't know that this exists. What's going on, Chris? You all right?
Broke her whole world.
I'm good. I'm fine. I think men and women can be friends. I do.
That is wow. That is
Aaron,
amazing.
I don't think we even got Aaron's point.
No, I don't think we could be friends. There's always some kind of interest right off the bat.
Yeah, I like them glasses, Aaron. I like them glasses.
That's how
John, you got to talk to your boy, John.
Bass is a good dude.
I don't have any male friends.
See? Why don't you have any male friends, Aaron?
Except for Clement.
Stop it.
Are you simping, Clement?
That's hurtful. That's hurtful. How dare you?
So what's going on? What's happening, Chris? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Don't take it out on everybody on Call of Duty later on tonight. We're not having it.
All right. So for the panel, that was the final. Actually, you know what? No. That was not the final question. E Black actually dropped a question to the panel. Does the panel think sex is a fair exchange between men and women? John,
Feel
what do you
free
think
to
of that?
jump right in, John. I want to hear what John says.
Oh, right away. Okay.
Hey, John, I noticed that you get up every time you're ready to answer a question.
Yeah. I
You
gotta
relax
get the
back.
blood.
Why you don't just sit back and talk?
Yeah, I'm
like,
chilling, man. You know, I'm hanging
just
out.
relax, bro. We chill. We good. We good. Go
No,
ahead,
you know
let
what
us
it is? I gotta shift, and asking the questions reminds me that, like, hey, if you stay here for too long, you're gonna be sore as fuck tomorrow. That's a difficult one. It depends. It depends on the nature of the exchange.
So what do you
Probably
mean?
right back up there.
It's a sexual exchange.
Well, if it's within the confines of a relationship, or if it's just a one-off hookup type situation.
You're a complicated man.
Yeah, I'm a weird guy. I'm very aware. Well, it depends. Are the people putting in as much work? Because we did talk about how sex was performance-based earlier. So if one gets off and the other doesn't, no, it wasn't a fair exchange.
So every time you have sex,
generally, it is not a fair exchange for the man.
Okay.
I would say.
No. So you saying is every time that you have sex, she orgasms?
If you know what you're doing, generally, yeah.
No, that's not necessarily true because every woman's body is different. The things that turn this woman on is not the exact same thing that turn that woman on.
That's what I'm saying. Within the confines of a relationship where you know each other and you know what each other likes, or with a one-time hookup situation.
But I mean, if you're in a relationship, you got to take relationship out of this context because we're talking about an exchange, right? If you're in a relationship, it's a lot more to it, right? The exchange is a lot more deep. So we just talking about two people.
Generally, no, it's not a fair exchange if it's a hookup situation.
On whose side? In whose favor?
Usually the woman's.
So in the woman's favor, so the woman benefits as a result of a sexual exchange with a man.
I'm saying that the man generally benefits more
than the woman in a sexual exchange.
Yes.
Got it. Gotcha. See how I had to pull that out of you, man?
Well, you confused me, bro.
Aaron, what do you think of this? What do you think?
I think generally men benefit.
How you figure that, Aaron?
Well, I mean, I've learned over the years that if you want it to be equal, the woman has to speak up and tell a man what she wants.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you speak up, you tell him what you want. Is it then equal? Is it an even exchange?
No. I mean, you could try to make it equal, but if he can't perform, then it's not fair.
What is a lack of performance? What is that? How do you define that?
He just doesn't know what he's doing.
You teaching him though, right?
Yes, but sometimes men
just don't work out no matter what.
Sometimes it takes a little while.
I got you. Listen, this is the app. It's after 10 o'clock where I'm at, so that means that it gets a little bit more
it's
direct.
After hours.
Yeah, this is the after hours. Come on, Chris.
Well, I mean, I think that men obviously definitely benefit more, but women technically hold all the power when it comes to sex in general. So where men tend, where
why
like
do you say men benefit more?
Because a man's like a bop it, where a woman's like a Rubik's cube. Like we got bop like you pretty much know what you're doing, like, and then every woman's different, so it's like a new pattern that you have to figure out, and it's a lot harder to do so for a lot of men. So I think in the sense, like, yes, women hold the power and like can force sex. Men benefit. Sorry. Like men benefit because it's usually a lot easier for them to come, in my experiences, I guess.
I will push back on that, but I'm gonna wait for Rondell. I'm gonna let Rondell do his thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it really depends on the situation. One, because Aaron, you were saying like typically it's not fair for the women, but I feel like the cougars out there who be wanting a young, want to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Versus a young guy who's on something like, I mean, I'll take it down, but that's not my preference. But I'll do what I gotta do. Like, and to me is not really a fair exchange unless he's getting something out of it. Vice versa, sugar daddy and a young girl. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand where you're coming from when you say like, if the guy doesn't have the ambition to want to satisfy a woman as far as not foreplay, not eating her out, or doing the things that she enjoys doing, then you gotta speak up and talk about it. But
I would go so far as to say that a woman that just shows up gotta go. Like, she gotta put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So I think the narrative that a guy just wants to get off is probably way off. That's way off. Yeah, I mean, if you 20, but for a guy that got options, I would say that that's not the case at all. I know guys that surround themselves with women just because they enjoy their company. I also know women that get off on satisfying and pleasing a guy. Like, that's the thing that gets her going. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really align myself with this narrative that says that men benefit and that it's an even exchange with just sex alone. Don't make sense to me.
That was good. That was a E Black. Shout out to you. Thank you for that question. That's your guy right there, Anton. All right.
That's my dog. That's my guy. and I responded to your DM today too, E. So, and my DMs are popping. They are crazy. Would y'all also agree with the idea that because a lot of times I get the question like, Anton, why don't you wear a ring? I've never wore a ring in the entire time that I've gotten married. I would also say that, well, yes, I have. I've worn it occasionally earlier, but I would also say that I think that wearing a ring probably gets you more attention versus not wearing a ring. Ironically enough, would you ladies agree with that, or am I off on that?
I mean, personally,
not personally, not as it pertains to you specifically, but just in general.
I haven't seen that, but also I'm not really around married people except for like my family. Like, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. I can't speak to that.
I understand where you're coming from, because I think women, if they don't see a ring, it's more of like a guessing game whether or not they're married, or it's more of a challenge. I think when they see that a man is married, they either know that okay, if he's willing to cheat, that that's what it'll be, is just a hookup, or I think it's more a challenge to women to kind of guess whether or not they're single or married.
So the last time that we talked, right? Chris, you had a specific question towards the end of the show that we said that we were going to do a deep dive in. Do you remember what that question was? Clement, do you remember what that question was?
No. Could you refresh my memory?
So Kristen was asking questions as it relates to what's wrong with her. She specifically was going into a conversation about why or why not. You are single, right, Chris?
Yes.
And you were asking a question as to what guys want and whether or not, and you didn't say this specifically, but this is just the vibe that I got from it. And do you fit a narrative that goes into whether or not guys would align with you as far as having a relationship? Am I off?
I think Aaron was asking a little bit more about that. Not like what was wrong, but
and
like,
then
how
I
do
said,
we find
you sure
these
you want to do
guys?
this? I said, you sure you want to do this? And you said, yeah, I'm sure. I said, you willing to use yourself as an example? And you said, yeah, I'm down. And I said, "Are you sure?"
Because I'm pretty sure we're just asking how do we find
Okay.
these guys in general? I mean, like, I'm fine to talk about it, but like, I'm not particularly looking.
I didn't say you was looking. I just said
Kristen's
that
specific question was why, when she offers an intelligent response and adds new information to a topic,
Oh yeah, and
why it's off-putting to men that she knows more about it than them.
yeah.
And the answer that actually you and I agreed on, Anton, was that those dudes are pussies and they just wanted.
Yeah, but that wasn't
dumb.
the thing that we said that we were going to postpone until the next show. We had already answered that question.
Okay. I don't think that. That's the thing. Like, I don't think that. Not that I think that I'm perfect. I'm definitely not going to say that. But I'm definitely down to dive deep into it. But like, I don't.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you think you're single?
Because actually I went to therapy and I'm learning to have a relationship with myself. To be honest, I had to go through a lot of therapy.
What does that mean?
For a lot of the time in my life, I put others before myself, and instead of like even knowing what I like or who I am as a person, I based my entire personality on trying to help and fix others.
So are you telling me that you are not ready to be in a relationship and that's why you're single?
I mean, now I'm at a point where like someone has to match me to deserve to be in a relationship with me. Like
What does that look like? What does matching you look like? Stop me when you get uncomfortable.
Okay. So like intelligence wise, like drive wise, like you know, I'm done trying to sit there and fix broken men or broken people. Because that's something I liked doing for a while.
So is that it? They just have to have drive and ambition and intellect? Is that the only criteria?
I mean, like, there's more smaller ones that like aren't as important, but yeah, I guess.
Okay, and then give me your whole spiel about what the ideal man is. Like, give me what he looks like, give me how much he makes, give me the whole spiel. What does your ideal person look like?
I don't have
because to sit here and say, well, they just have to match my intelligence and ambition and drive. Oh, okay. Well, then this guy that looks like Fred Flintstone is going to walk up to you and he's going to be, 67 years old, but he matches your ambition and drive. Are you giving him an opportunity? No, you absolutely not. I'm not even going to give you a chance to answer it. So my point is the things that we say in general that we just be like, oh, they just have to do that, versus being intentional and being, absolutely honest on what it is that we would see as an ideal candidate is different. So paint the picture for me. What does this ideal guy look like? Does he play video games? Is he tall? Is he short? What is he? How much money does he make? What does he do for a living?
I don't know. I never thought about money, to be honest. I know that after conversations with you, I realize it's kind of important because eventually I want to have a family one day. But
so if you know none of this stuff, then how do you know that you're ready to be in a relationship when you don't even know what you want?
I had never said I was ready to be in a relationship.
But I asked you in the beginning.
I said but I said I was trying to have a relationship with myself. Maybe I misunderstood or misspoke.
Got it. All right. So let me ask Aaron. Aaron, what is this? Are you ready to be in a relationship? Let me ask that question.
I'm ready to get married.
Okay. So see, Aaron is intentional. All right. So Aaron, what does this ideal guy look like? Your ideal. I mean, like, yeah, we know that we're willing to make compromises on certain things here and there, but if you just had the perfect person, what does that person look like? Not look like, but what do they look like? Right? Everything.
Someone who's ambitious, someone who will do anything and everything for their family. Someone who's loyal, honest, isn't afraid to communicate. Someone who wants to have children. I feel like some men just kind of like, yeah, all right, sure, I'll have a child. But I want a man who wants to have children. Someone who is thoughtful, adventurous, loves to laugh and joke around. And someone who's not always looking for the next best thing, someone who appreciates what they have. And as far as money, I would say high, 6 figures.
What's 6 figures? That's a broad range.
Probably maybe in the high, like 300s, 400s.
High 300s, high 400s. That's the ideal person. So what's okay, so what do they look like? Minimum height?
Height, I would have to say
Age?
Between 5'9" and over.
Okay, 5'9" and over. Age?
Age. I've always played around with that, but I feel like older is better.
Okay, so you do realize that a person that's generally generating that type of revenue, right, that they are not going to be as available as you'd like them to be. They're not going to necessarily be able to have those long, deep conversations and be up under you and spend that amount of time with you and all of that other type of stuff. You do know that, right?
Yes, I realize that.
Okay. And you really you willing to sacrifice for that?
Down a notch. Maybe we'll talk like high 200s.
Okay, high to same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
I coach a lot of these guys that make this type of money. They often work 16 to 20 hours a day.
I know.
You willing to sacrifice on that, or are you willing to go to the mid to low 100s? I'm just saying, because we having a real conversation. And the reason why I'm doing this, let me tell you why I'm doing it. Look, she drinking some water now. I don't know if that's water, I don't know if that's vodka, but the reason why we having this conversation, right, is because we have to be intentional. And I want to know what this thing looks like and what people are having these conversations with themselves. And are they being realistic, or are they narrow, or are they preventing themselves from the best thing possible because they have unrealistic expectations? Because the whole work schedule is a thing that women don't consider. They think that men just make a lot of money and they just make a lot of money. It's not true.
No, I know. And now that you put it that way, I understand that. The more money you make, the more hours you put in.
So what about the low 100s? Is that cool? He loves your socks off.
If I wanted to quit my job and he would be head of household?
I didn't say that. You said this is what you want.
If I was working and he was working, yeah, sure, I would be okay with in the hundreds.
But if you quit your job, he got to make more than the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to die alone? I'm just asking.
At this rate, it seems like I am.
No, that's not. Are you going to? Are you willing to? Are you willing to die alone, or is companionship more important, in which you are willing to make more sacrifices in order to get what you want?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm just not. I don't want to settle.
Don't matter what you want to do.
I know. Am I willing to die alone?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't answer that right now.
You got to. Time is not a luxury that we have.
I wish I had a time thing. That would have been great. I need to add that.
Are you willing to die alone?
God, that's
because listen, one day we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be 70.
I guess not. I guess not.
So if you're unwilling to die alone, then what are you willing to sacrifice?
I guess I would have to sacrifice that. The money.
What,
thing.
the money?
I guess so.
You don't sound enthused about that. But do you see what I'm saying, John? And that women will settle for certain things, but that is not the thing that they want. It's a difference. Just because a guy is with a woman does not mean that that's what she wants. That's what she settled for in a lot of instances, because women are hypergamous.
There's also personality traits to take into account. If you have
as you get older, nobody cares about your personality traits. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Every year, that personality stuff goes out the window. That's a luxury that younger people have, but it will not age well. I'm just telling you. Nobody cares about how you feel as you get older.
So you're saying that you don't think a relationship can work if the two people have. You don't think a marriage could work if two people have similar interests and are both great parents and just don't make as much money as you believe they should?
No. My wife and I are complete opposites. We don't have similar interests. We are complete opposites in every way. 1,000%. We have zero similar interests, and we are successfully married. And when I say successfully, we are successfully married.
But wouldn't it be cool to, have a shared hobby that you could do together and bond over?
What is this? What are we playing? Board games? I don't care about cool.
Yeah, if that's what you like.
I got a daughter to raise. We trying to get rich.
Maybe you guys like to play Monopoly.
We're trying to travel the world. Wouldn't it be cool? Man, I am working 20, literally. Clement, you will tell you, Clement has hit me up at 4 a.m, like Anton, or at like 3:30, and I'm like, okay, I'm up. What's happening? Let's face it.
Yep.
I am up till 4 o'clock in the morning working, and I am back up in the morning at 8:30. I am very much transparent. Last year I made 1.2 million. I didn't do that by accident. I did it because I was being intentional. So my point is that it ain't about being cool. It ain't about being comfortable and all that other type of stuff. Men are the most perfect example of extremes. You have men that are willing to just be okay, and they okay if they make this amount of money because this is the median, and if I find her and I want a loved one and that loves me for me and to hold my hand when I'm dying and all that other type of stuff, there's those men. On the other way extreme end of the spectrum is the men that want everything, and there will always be an extreme between the two. The middle is where you die. That's where the tortoise gets ran over in the middle of the road. It's extremes in everything. And so I am unwilling to. I am great at what I do. I'm great. And my biggest fear in life is to die leaving potential on the table. It's to die with something left in me, and for me not to leave this earth in a better space as a result of me being here versus the other way around. That's my whole life purpose. All this other stuff is extra, bro. I don't care about that stuff.
See, I'm just on the other end, man. I'd rather have a great time with somebody that I care about and have emotional growth and adventures with them and do fun things with them than be a millionaire.
We do.
You know what I mean?
The fun stuff come after, but the priority is the work. The priority is the work. That's why we got Tesla, because Elon Musk don't sleep. Like, that's the reason why we have railroads. It's the reason why
it needs to take a nap, bro. That ridiculous car he's got.
But see, that's the whole point, is that the earth is built by men that don't go to sleep. It's built by greatness. It's not built by people feeling comfortable. The reason why you're able to sit there and lay on your couch is because somebody came before you that was only sleeping 4 hours a day. I want to be the guy that built the couch that you sleeping on. I don't want to be the guy that lay on the couch all day.
I mean,
oof.
I wish I could
mean,
lay
really,
on the
real
couch all
talk.
day, dude.
I mean, and that's the difference. It's a different mentality, bro. I want my daughter to be awesome. I want my daughter to go to the best school possible, and that she don't have to make a sacrifice or be saddled with debt as a result of her having to take out student loans in order to go to the best school possible. I want my daughter to have every opportunity. I don't want my wife to ever have to work if she don't want to. I want her to live in her purpose. I want her to really be able to fulfill what she feels like she needs to on earth, because she don't have to shoulder the same burdens that she's not built for. I don't want my wife to have to subject herself to that. I don't want my mom having to greet people at Walmart because she don't have enough in retirement. You know, I don't want I take care of when my wife's mom says she wants something, she get it. She don't have to worry or stress about anything. You know why? Because I did that. Because I am the man that I'm supposed to be, and I'd exceeded not only my expectation and potential, but for 100 other guys that failed to live up to the expectation. I built companies. I've built apps. I've made society better. I've gave $1 million back to my community. I can't do that by sitting and sleeping all day. Somebody else needs me. Some young guy needs me to give him an opportunity because his dad never showed up and he was comfortable. That's the difference, bro. Men don't have the luxury. Real men don't have the luxury of taking their time and being comfortable. Comfortability comes as a result of being rewarded, not the other way around. You're not owed nothing. It's not your expectation. You shouldn't even have an expectation. You shouldn't even use the word deserve or I want to be. It's what's my purpose and am I achieving it? Am I looking in the mirror every single day and saying, did I leave this earth as a better way of what it had been had I not been here if I'm gone tomorrow? Did you leave a mark? Is anybody going to remember you 10 years from now if you was gone tomorrow? That's how I live my life, bro. Every single day. That's the difference. And that's why men follow me.
Ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
If you're working 20 hours a day and stuff, how I don't mean this to be rude in any way, but are you able to spend time as a father with your daughter?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do that earlier in life, so working 20 hours a day is figuratively, okay? I'm up 20 hours a day. And the majority of that time is always doing something purposeful. So for example, I quit my job back in 2017. I was a vice president of user experience at a Fortune 500 company. But I quit my job because I had achieved so much in my life that I wanted to now transition into spending the majority of my time pouring into people. But I consider that work. You know what I'm saying? So I do spend time with my daughter, but my daughter is in a space at 13 years old where she's not just hanging around the house no more. She's adopted a lot of my same principles. She go to Taekwondo right after school. After that, she goes to Defy and she does gymnastics, and then she works on her homework. So I make sure that I slot my time around her schedule in order to ensure that, you know, that's why I wake up at 8:30 so I can ensure that I see her before she goes out, right? I spend a majority of my time on Saturdays. I don't slot any kind of calls or coaching or anything like that in between the time that I know she's available. So it's all figurative, but the point is that I don't sleep or just play video games all day, or when I do, you know, it's intentional. I understand how much my time is worth. I don't evaluate my time based off of how much I make a year. I based it off of how much my hour is worth, and I calculate my time differently. So if somebody says, okay, well, I make $85,000 a year, right? I say, okay, divide that by 8,760 hours, because that's how many hours is in a year. That means your time is really only worth $9 an hour. So if you sit up and you watch Netflix for the next 3 hours, you spent $27 watching Netflix, because that's how much you're worth. That's how much your time is worth. My time specifically is worth about $136 an hour, which means that every minute or every hour that I play video games, it costs me $136, because time is the only true currency that we have. And we calculating it wrong. We evaluating what our life means wrong, because we'll never get another minute back. So every minute that we just sleeping, or every minute that we put something in our bodies that's preventing us from being or living the best life possible, it takes away from the real experience. It takes away from what it is that we're supposed to do as far as how we're supposed to live our life and be on our purpose. Everybody is just waking up like an accident, and then they'll spend their time going out and protesting, telling everybody else what they should give them and saying, yo, socialism. But in reality, it's the people that make the laws. The people that make the laws are the ones that's actually doing the work. That's the truth. That's the truth. John, what's going on, bro? How you feel?
What's up,
You
man?
all right?
I'm all right. I'm tired, dude. I've been up since 5.
I'm sure.
Anton, you're always preaching, bro. You're always preaching. I appreciate it. Appreciate your words, your actions. It definitely motivates a lot of people, you know?
I hope y'all enjoyed this. I slotted my time to make sure I came and spent it with you guys tonight. 2 of the most beautiful women that I've seen all day.
Oh,
Thanks.
thank
Kristen
you.
loves compliments, by the way.
Oh, stop it.
Aaron, I like them glasses too. I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Y'all had to hear my soapbox. I'm sorry about that. But this is what I get passionate about what I feel strongly about. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's motivation right there. Like, that was definitely motivation for me because I'm on the same type of time, man. I got 2 kids. I needed to hear that. You know what I mean? I just gotta up it to the next level.
It's just weird to me, honestly, and that I see a lot of people that say they want the best for their kids and all of that other type of stuff. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general because I don't know you, right? But in general, it's like, do you really? Because you would be doing things differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would actually care. You would marry their mother, understanding that it's a much better chance for your kids to be successful being raised in a 2-parent household. You know, it's so much that's meaningful that we just take for granted and we don't really embrace, and we're not passionate about it. And the reason that I know we're not passionate about it is because our actions don't align with the things that we say that we want to do. I'm not leaving nothing on the table. I want everything. I want all the money. I want all the sex. I want all of the success. I want all of the opportunities. I want all of the legacy. I want everything. And if you don't want it, I'd love to have some of yours too.
Go for it, man. I got other shit to do.
I'm with it. I'll take it. I'm like Thanos.
To take care of and stuff going on, man.
I feel you.
I love it. Listen, guys, everyone on the panel, thank you so much for joining me. Thank Anton for being here with us. You know, there was definitely a lot of knowledge. You guys remember that number, 8,760. It's a good way to calculate. Good way to know.
Live by it, baby. Hey, Aaron, I like them glasses.
On that note, guys, we are going to call it a night. Thank you again. You guys all have a good night.
Have a good one.
MJ on the beat, ho.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth. Start speaking the truth. Might get shot for it, but MLK did too.
Look to the sky, ask God why. Innocent lives have to die. One thing I know, a flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
Now we could paint the perfect picture without belittling each other. Cause under God's system we really one another's brother. And the system set up just to make one another struggle. Work it out like we gaining muscle. I done seen Flint, Michigan in the inner cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep. Teacher got the nerve to ask what's the feeling. He got up and started lashing out. See, it's a start. Physical display and mental destruction. Yeah, now that's the art. Politician, government instructing you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you would need a resource, but you finance like cars. Too many of us worrying about what we be spending at bars, while queens are done playing themselves through the subconscious mirage. And here I was a young boy just praying to get a menage with 2 of the baddest Nickies, hoping they shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part, and it's the start.
Look to the sky, ask God why. innocent lives have to die. One thing I know, a flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
See, I'm a poet and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes, expose it. Listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping we clash on lower levels just like in the past. Before we begin to see spared lives, keep in mind the first 3 letters of unity starts with you and I. And maybe then we can all thrive, changing the narratives of our lives, finding belief from inside. We gotta come together, different feathers, and we fly together despite any weather, evolving up forward just like propellers, using negatives to fuel positives. How we change the mark, just like taking the devil's flames just to warm the coldest heart. Mama knew it from the start, DC Mo would be a spark to lead the light that works its way out, illuminate through the dark. Funny cause my skin is dark despite the stereotypes that exemplify brilliance, cause I found that genius within my mind. You see words create worlds when you use the term tear. Your mind takes what it sees and mimics that just like a mirror. So if we change the way we speak, conscious the energy we give, we'll have a world full of positive word of jigger. Can I live?
Look to the sky, ask God why. Innocent lives have to die. One thing I know, a flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.